Right then guys, I'm just going to do a bit of a kit loadout for you, just to go through what I'm taking this weekend. It's for 3 days and 2 nights, including all food and water. So what I'll do is I'll just run through briefly what I'm using, what I'm taking, and I'll load it all up and I will show you the weight. System that I'm taking is, although it's not winter, it is mainly my winter system. Gonna take it out and try it out because it's going to be a bit windy, a bit wet, and the temperatures have dropped. So, but for me this weekend will be a bit of a tester, really, just to see how it all goes. So let's get on with it, and I'll show you what I'm taking. Right then, guys, here it all is, all laid out on my kitchen floor for you. Just get it in the screen, all of it. So yeah, it doesn't look very much, but it's more than enough for 2 nights and 3 days, etc. So start it all off with the bag of choice is my Osprey Excess 48. So that's what I'm taking. Got a pack liner for it, so that goes inside to keep everything dry. And also I got the Osprey rain cover for it too. So shelter and sleep system. So I've got 10 large tent pegs in, well actually 12 large tent pegs in there. I've got 2 spare, and I've also got 4 little ones as well. They are MSR pegs, very light, very strong. I got half a tennis ball. The reason for that is I'm taking the Cuban trail style with me. So the tennis ball sits on the top of my walking pole, just to protect between the handle of the walking pole and the Cuban trail star. Bit of extra protection. Next up, here I have my ground cloth. Very lightweight, waterproof. Yeah, so that's my ground cloth that I use. And then next up, goes on top of that, this is the Snug Pack SF bivy bag. Really waterproof. It does breathe, but it's not 100% breathable, but it is totally waterproof. I've woken up in 4 inches of water in that and been bone dry. But depending on the weather, you can get a little bit of moisture inside, so you're not damp, you just feel a little bit clammy maybe. But I do use it with a down bag, and I think if you used it with synthetic bag, you might be a little bit better. But yeah, so I'm going to give that a go again this weekend and see how I get on. I've only used it a couple of times. It is really waterproof, like I say, but I did get a little bit clammy in it. But saying that, a sleeping bag wasn't wet, but if you run your hand between the bivy bag and the sleeping bag, it just felt a little bit clammy, but it's not a problem. Next up, sleep system. This is my pillow. It's a Sea to Summit Eros pillow. It's a regular size, really nice and comfortable. It fits inside the hood of my sleeping bag, so as it doesn't doesn't slide away. So that's a good bit of kit. That is really light as well. Next up is the Exped Synmat Ul 7. That's a medium. I use the medium one through winter. I like it to be a bit longer, so as I keep my whole body, because I'm only 5'8", so yeah, I keep my whole body on the mat so I don't get cold feet. And then my sleeping bag's my Alpkit Pipe Dream 400. Now I normally use this all year round. I have got Mountain Equipment 550 as well, which if I'm expecting really cold weather, I will change that one because it is a bit of a warmer bag. Right, next up, I use Sawyer squeeze system for my water. Now this is all I carry with me on Dartmoor. I fill it up at home before I go, and I take it with me. There's always plenty of water on Dartmoor to get water when you run out, so that's what I start with. That's what I carry when I'm, when I first set off. But just to swap over, so I use the Sawyer Mini to filter my water, and I also carry 2 1-litre Platypus bags. So in the evening, just before I pitch up, I collect water on the way, and I've got about 2.6 litres with me, which is more than enough for the evening and the next morning. Sit mat, I take a sit mat. It's a Carrymore. It's pink. It's a wife's, but she doesn't come anymore. It's really light, a lot lighter than mine, so I use that one. Head net. I've got a head net. Don't normally take it in winter, but I'm taking it today. Last trip out, even though it was humid and damp, there was lots of midges. Don't normally use this in the winter, but I am taking it this time. Waterproof trousers. We've already covered these. The Berg House Pack Light Gore-Tex trousers. So that's what I'm taking as well. Cook system. Haven't taken this one out for a while. It's a Caldera cone, so I'm going to be using this one, and in conjunction with that is my Kitt 750 titanium pot, which I just boil my water in, and inside there's also my 450 cup, again Kitt titanium. It's a good system. Haven't used it for a while, so I thought it was time to get it out of the cupboard and use that one. Food wise, right, so in here is just my drink. So I've got coffee, soup, and hot chocolate. I've got plenty in there. I always bring back more than I need, but I'd rather it that way. If you're sat in your tent and it's wet and gloomy, then you've got plenty to drink. The food, I've got plenty in here, but just to show you what I used to have the Fusion freeze-dried meals. I swapped to, well, because I've had to swap because they're no longer going. But I got the Summit to Eats. Really nice meals. Yeah, what more can you say about it, really? Yeah, really nice meals. So I use these. So I have these as my evening meal. And then for breakfasts, what I normally do is I got oats and dried milk powder mix in there. Sometimes I chuck in a bit of raisins, a bit of currants, etc. So I have that for my breakfast. During the day, dinner time, lunchtime, I'll just take some super noodles. You can add bits and pieces to it if you want to, but it's quick, it's easy, and it keeps me going. And also in here is my pot cozy for when I do my freeze-dried meals, etc. So yeah, so that's what's in there. But yeah, so that's pretty much that in there. Oh yeah, also in here I have a few snacks, etc. in with my drinks bag. And there's my electronics bag. I use an Anker power pack. I've got a lantern that I can hang up inside the shelter, and I also have a head torch and spare batteries for that. Clothes wise, this is new, so I get a test in this weekend. This is the Bento Paramo Bento fleece, wind resistant, moisture resistant, etc. And I'm hoping that coupled up with my Paramo V-Lay light, if it gets really wet or cold, I'm not expecting it to be freezing this weekend, but if it's cold enough, I'll put that on and try it with the V-Lay light. I did speak to Paramo, and they reckoned it was a good combination to use, and will add extra waterproofness as well as warmth and breathability. For the evening, if it's needed, I've got my mountain equipment down jacket in there. Spare clothes, right, so I got a merino wool shirt, long sleeve shirt. I also wear merino wool shirts while I'm walking, but this is dry clothes for the evening. So you know, there's a long sleeve shirt, a spare pair of boxers and a spare pair of socks in there. That's all I need. My trousers are quick drying, so if they get wet they dry out really quickly, so I don't need extra trousers. I'm quite a hot sleeper, so I don't normally wear clothes, but if I need to, I could put the down jacket on, or I've got the Bento fleece I could wear. But I've got dry clothes for the evening, if you know, or dry underwear for the evening if need be, and also I could put it on the next morning if it's nice weather, and then I can dry out what I have been wearing if I need to during the day. In here I've just got a buff, gloves, and a hat, a thin hat for this trip. And then finally, first aid kit. In here is my first aid kit. It's a homemade first aid kit, and also a puncture repair kit for my Exped mat, and also toiletries, little toothbrush, little bit of toothpaste, toilet paper, etc. So yeah, so that's everything that I'm taking, apart from my walking post. So obviously I'll take my walking post, but this is everything that is going in my pack that I need for the 3 days and 2 nights. So I'll get it all packed up, and I'll weigh it and see what it all comes out to. Right then guys, there she is, all loaded up, the Osprey Exos 48. The weight is coming in at 8¼ kilo. Just a tad over 8¼ but it's closer to 8¼ than it is 8½. So yeah, so that's my complete pack weight, and that will be for this Friday, Saturday and Sunday, so 3 days and 2 nights. So yeah, if you have any questions on my kit or the way I pack it, I know I haven't showed you the way I pack it. I find everybody packs their bags differently. I like to put mine in order of the way that I'd like it to come out. So if it's dry weather, my shelter is always on the top. The food for that day, or just in the afternoon then, so a drink, a snack or some noodles or something just for the afternoon, is directly underneath my shelter. And the reason for that is the shelter's on the top because it's the last thing I want to put away in the morning. So you've got up, you've had a coffee, you've sorted all your gear out, and the last thing that I take down is the shelter, and the shelter goes on the top if it's dry. Also is if I stop in the afternoon and I want a coffee and a quick bite to eat, then if it's raining, the shelter comes out and the shelter goes up, and I can sit under my shelter while I'm having something to eat, and I stay dry. Now if it's been raining and it's wet in the evening, then the shelter goes in here. I mean, at the moment is my sit mat and my waterproof trousers because it's readily available. So yeah, if it's been wet overnight, then the shelter will go in this pocket during the day, which then leaves my food and my my cooking gear readily available right at the top. But at the top, the only food I put in there at the top is what I want for that day's walking. So then the main weight of the food for the other day or two is sort of midway, because right at the bottom I have my sleep system and my clothes, because that's the heaviest. I like it to be heaviest weight around my sort of hip area, and then it gets lighter and lighter as it comes up. So sleeping kit all down the bottom, along with the spare clothes, then spare food for the rest of the days. Then I have what I'm going to eat during that day, and then my shelter. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions and want to know a bit more, then just ask, and I can do a kit loadout if you want, how I load it, etc. Now, if I was taking my other bag, I know this would only be 8 kilos. rather than 8 1/4. And if I swapped out the cook set that I've got for another cook set which I've got, which is titanium rather than aluminium, and I can minimize that down even further, then I will be, you know, quite easily under 8 kilos, and that would do me for winter. So I'm really happy with that. So yeah, the only reason I haven't gone lighter is haven't used this bag for a while, so I want to give it a spin. Cook set I haven't used for a while, so yeah, I want to give that a spin. So yeah, so I will either put this video up as separate from the actual hike, or depending on how long all the videos come up to, I'll add it to the hike and we'll do it as one. So that's it for me. Bye for now.